Alright guys, we're back for another Dokkan battle video. So with the recent shenanigans with LR, Babidi, and Deborah, I figured now would be a good time to sort of do a video on this. A lot of the different problems and, I don't know, I guess controversies that Dokkan has had. The Dokkan Wiki has a pretty good page over here, listing of a lot of this stuff. Now, a lot of this stuff I will be able to remember, but some of this is probably info that I might not even have seen before. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at it. So, back when 2015 started, a lot of cards were released before October 30th, all have the same date. They didn't track the release dates of cards before that date. Oh, interesting. Okay, so that's, yeah, there's a lot of cards in the Dokkan Wiki that sort of say that, right? Like, you know, release prior to this date. When you close the app, the turn start again from the beginning, helping to avoid attacks and lack of key and items. Yep. Solved by 2017. Yeah, I remember that. So, like, you know, if you're in Super Battle Road, and like you're gonna get supered right at the start, you could close the app, restart it, and then know you're getting super attacked in that same spot. But then, you know, they just changed it to where when you close the app, when you like got to the actual turn, it just restarted as soon as like the turns were already complete. Okay, this bug allowed you to use a second Ghost Rush of the following turn if you close the app, making it 2 following turns without being attacked. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. An issue occurred where you could use the following golden freezes in the same team, despite all of them sharing the same name. Yeah, I heard about this. I believe this was related to having, like, the previous freezes on a team and then awakening them, and then you would be able to use them all in the same team, right? Because, like, a lot of them awaken from different versions of Frieza, right? Like, that's a first form Frieza right here. This one right here is... Wait, that's the same one I clicked. Here, let me just bring up these other two. So yeah, one is from a first form Frieza, one's from like a second form Frieza, there's Mecha Frieza. So like, you know, you could easily have all of them on the same team prior to their awakening, then they awaken and they're on the same team. Ox King reduced 75% of damage received instead of 25%. I didn't even know about that. Wow, okay, that's pretty good. Bug appeared for Android users, makes the part of the screen turn black. Interesting. Huh, well, yeah, that's one I have. That's not even really that big of a deal. Okay, so due to the excess of players logging in during the release of Gogeta and Janemba, it was impossible to enter in the game for several hours. Yeah. I mean, this is something that happened for quite a while. I mean, during the 2-year anniversary, things were really bad with the Super Saiyan 4s and stuff like that, so not really too surprising. Okay, the skill Ultimate Awakening, taking reduced damage and dealing bonus damage from the boss didn't activate, making it the easiest Dokkan event. Oh, wow. So the boss didn't even get, like, the special, like, boss attributes. That's crazy. Due to the excess of players logging in during the release of Vegito and Broly, it was impossible to enter the game for several hours. I was playing during this time. I don't remember this. I mean, obviously, that's probably definitely true, but I don't remember that being the case. Yeah, this Frieza was released with wrong coloring. It's his feet, right? They changed his feet and his hands to purple the way it should be. Dr. Lychee could be sold in the Baba shop for 15,000 Baba points. Well, that's quite the exploit right there. Because Dr. Lychee's only an SR. That's pretty good. All hidden potential events and Pan's secret adventure at a bug where you can play them twice a day if you played the first time at midnight. Ooh. It's another one I didn't know about. But that's obviously a very good glitch or problem for a lot of people. By switching friends while the game was loading, it was possible to have characters switch super attack animations. Yeah, Yamcha performing the Soul Punisher, Goku performing Burst Rush. That's cool, that's cool. Okay. Alright, yep, here we go. Yeah, I remember this. The Super Saiyan 4s, the game was really bad for quite a while on JP. In particular, I remember they gave out a huge amount of potential system orbs to all JP players as a result of the game just being so unstable. This lasted for a long time, by the way. This was at least like a full week where things were not normal over on JP Dokkan. Okay, now we start getting into the fun stuff. Due to the intervention of hackers into the game, the rewards for this world tournament are given out twice, and that Vegeta was the ranking reward. Yes, I'm not going to mention any names, you know, but we know who did it. Well, I mean, you know, the boy Renzi, you know, he was trying to help people out. It's fine to mention Renzi, right? I mean, it did work out for a lot of people. It gave out double rewards. I would mention that this didn't have anything to do, I don't think, with the ban wave that came sometime recently afterwards. That, of course, was related to stone duping at the time. And then same thing happened with the Global World Tournament where, you know, rewards were given out twice. Although I will say, to me, this almost seemed like this World Tournament wasn't actually as compromised as this JP one, but, like, they just did it so that, like, Global matched the rewards with JP. I remember at the time that's what I suspected. But very fun times. Bulma had an error in her passive where it said her ki boost was guaranteed, but it was a chance, like her stun. Okay, that's annoying. Bojack had an error in his Dokkan Awakening. His attack stat was lowered instead of increased, and his attack stat was fixed. Okay, so that's maybe a similar thing to what happened with LR Bobbity and Deborah just recently. Okay, yeah, okay. So before Gotenks was released to the public, so this was the Twitter. On the Twitter, they showed him and they changed his details. Units at a sacrifice of 15% HP and performing the 12-key super attack. Complaints from players turned it into an attack raise for 1 turn. That ended up being very big, because if this Gotenks was lowering his HP, that would not be fun. That would suck. Yeah, I believe this is one of the last times where servers were like just imploded when these big time units came out. This was Thanksgiving of 2017 when Gogeta and Janemba arrived on Global. And it was very, very rough for, a lot of players. All right, here we go. Now we get to the good stuff. There was a brief period in which the Kefla banner accidentally displayed false rates due to false rates being illegal, the possibility of legal claims against the developers. This was quickly fixed, and all players who summoned on the banner while it displayed false rates got all the Dragon Stones they used back refunded, with an additional 300 stones gifted as extra compensation. So, yeah, I remember at the time the physical Super Vegito banner was up, because there was some sort of glitch. Like, I remember people claiming that physical Super Vegito, like, if you can open up the list of all the units on banners, like, people were claiming that physical Super Vegito wasn't even on their list of units that were on the banners. It was this whole shit show. Akatsuki released a statement as to what was happening, and I believe they even showed some of the game's code in the news. And I believe Renzi and Laughing Man both confirmed that basically everything that Akatsuki said in the news seemed to be true to them. And I believe I remember Renzi saying he was stunned as well that they even showed their code in the news. So I do believe that there was not false play at work here. And then, JP got the 300 stones. An error like this has not happened on Global, because, like, Global players talk about this as though it's a global shaft, but it's not. It's just something that affected different games. Like, both versions are differently. Trust me, I'll give you all Global players those 300 stones if you guys want to give me the Global exclusive tickets. I think that's a fine trade for me. All right, so there's a bug with enemy where either super attack or normal attack, enemy's health bar will decrease before the animation finishes. And sometimes attacks are skipped. Yeah, it's a rare bug and still happens nowadays. Yeah, frequently this happens with normal attacks, where like a normal non-super attack will be skipped. Yeah, that's very, very common. There's a glitch where I remember this. Yeah, Goku's Kaioken medal would not drop from an event. This was later corrected. That had to be rough for some free-to-play players at the time to basically just like not get so their stamina, like back, stones were so rare back then. And, to be wasting all that stamina with no reward, what a pain in the ass. Okay, by the way, this little screenshot, this is a rare, loading screen you can get sometimes in the game. And this Krillin is not a card released yet. I swear, that's him tossing the Spirit Bomb in the Saiyan Saga. I swear that, Krillin, Gohan, Goku, that could be, a summonable LR or something along those lines. So, I would absolutely love if this ended up maybe being, the TUR for that unit. I mean, we've seen Dokkan has done stuff like that, very, very often, where they will release, one of these units, arts that's been in the game for a long time. Like, we saw that with LR Full Power Frieza, right? Wait, what is this? Android devices. Huh. It just causes the game to freeze. I don't really remember this exactly. Alright, whatever. Not a big deal. During the LR Androids campaign, error occurred where some users were able to get the rewards twice. As compensation, they distributed all rewards for a second time. Players who got the bug had 3 times. Yep, I remember that. Global exclusive reward, Over on JP, we didn't get those. Let me relax, though, because we're going to get to another thing that had global players peeved for a while. I mean, at least the 300 stone stuff, honestly, I always thought was nonsense. This, at the very least, is a little bit more of global should have been treated a little bit better. We'll get to it. During the release of Goku Black Rosé's banner, it showed Broly's Dokkan Awakened version. They've got a screenshot of it right here. Very good. That's Broly's Dokkan Awakened version rather than his SSR version. Because of that, all stones... Oh, it doesn't even mention it, but all stones were refunded that were used on that banner. I remember I woke up the next day. I had used 700 stones on Rose's banner, and I got shafted, by the way. And then I, opened up my gift box, and I had 700 stones. So it was a huge deal. I remember I named the title 700 free stones with exclamation points, and people were mad at me. But I was like, well, but I picked 700 stones up out of the box. Like, I didn't lie. Oh, that was funny. So yeah, that was cool. Stone refund. Disappearing character icon. Rare bug where during battle a card's icon will disappear and the key meter will be shrunk down. Oh, I've seen this before. Bug is still in effect today, although very rare. I've seen this before, but I've never gotten this one myself, where it just doesn't show like the card art and stuff like that. Yeah. When Blue Vegeta was about to be released, he had the link over in a flash, but when he was officially released, it was changed to prepared for battle. This was made possible due to players' feedback. This is actually a really good change because we have Tech Blue Vegito at the time who already had over in a flash. So I think having this Vegito be different in links as well was very positive for the game. So I think this Vegito, I mean, there's certain points like where like right now, if he had over in a flash, he'd work a little bit better with like LR Blue Vegito and Gogeta, the 5-year anniversary units, but overall, I thought it was probably better that this guy had prepared for battle. Yeah, okay, so here was another notice how most of these are global errors, by the way. So this farmable Vegito from the Dokkan event was released earlier than it was supposed to, which allowed players to farm up, this Vegito for LR Blue Vegito and also prepare for any of the units they needed to farm up, right? Yeah, he was released without sprites or info. Also sparked the early release of the Boo Saga category despite it not being displayed on the category list. Yeah, and eventually they fixed it and just released the unit, right? Okay, so here, during the release of the Rose Goku Black, an error occurred on the image of the banner showing the sprite of this Goku instead of Sin. After this was corrected, players received 1 stone. Now, is this equivalent to why JP got their stones refunded? Yes, it is. I would say so. The only thing is, it was like this for everyone. Like, I remember, you can go back and watch my stream on this banner. Maybe I should have pulled it up ahead of time. But, like, when I'm summoning, you could see that Broly right there, right? This was not visible to everyone. There was, like, only, like, I don't know if it was only in France or something, but this was not visible to everyone. Do I still think people should have their stones refunded for that? Yeah, actually I do. Sure. Like, why not? Like, they make so much money anyway. Like, when something like that happens, just do it as a show of good faith to the player base. I think it's smart. Like, this wasn't... If we're talking about global shafts, like, this is actually something that I think I would accept as a global shaft rather than, like, the 300 stone nonsense, which has nothing to do with global whatsoever, right? This is actually, like, global just kind of got slapped in the face with this one, for sure. Nurse Chi-Chi had his name displayed as Lord Jaguar in the trade point shop. Okay, not a big deal. I remember this. This was crazy. So this Vegeta, like, appeared in people's boxes with stats maxed out when the unit was supposed to be a summon character. It was a glitch, and it was maintenance about a day long, and it was solved. Yeah, it was actually taken out of people's boxes. I believe resources they'd used on the unit were, like, re-sent to them and stuff like that. But just craziness that they accidentally sent this unit to people's boxes. Before the release of this Goku, yeah, he had Shattering Limit, which was so stupid. And people were infuriated, so they changed it to Fierce Battle. What's funny is that this Goku, even with Fierce Battle, is still pretty meek. He does not hit very hard. So if he had Shattering Limit, he would just board straight suck. So it's really good that he had Fierce Battle. When Piccolo was released, he didn't have Revived Warriors. That was fixed shortly after his release. The Japanese player base complained a lot, and he got it, which obviously, this is him directly arriving on Namek after being wished back, so duh. Shortly before the beginning of the $250 million celebration, an error occurred that added holographic diamonds. Ooh, on LRs. Yeah, it also froze the animations, causing them to not move. It was fixed shortly thereafter. Yeah, that looks so bad. Oh, the diamond background is terrible. This Beerus was available for purchase using a red stone. But in Baba's shop, he was accidentally listed as Super Saiyan Goku instead of Beerus. It was fixed the next day and compensation was given out. Okay, that's cool. During the $250 million celebration, the possibility to summon Purunga by collecting the 7 Dragon Balls. During the 3rd set of wishes to get the 5-star ball, you need to complete 1 potential orb event. Global version of the game could not complete the mission using the weekend orb event because both events have a different ID number on each server, unlike nearly all other events. However, could be obtained in the following days. Oh, yeah. Okay, so, I mean, this is something I could talk about, is that Global and JP have different versions of the orb event, as we could see right here. This is something, in the past, Global was the winner, because, like, when you fight one of these bosses, they drop 2 types of orbs, right? And Global would easily be able to get way more orbs than on JP. It wasn't even close. People try and claim that like JP's always had it better, and that's just a flat out wrong. For a long time, Global's potential orb system was way better. But because you fight 2 like bosses every single time, there is no special enemy that you can fight like JP has, right? If we go to JP, you only fight 1 enemy, either 17, 18, or Cell, right? Notice how on Global, like there's multiple enemies there on all of it. But what happened is JP has the event first happened, this is something you wouldn't see this. You'd see this like once every 3 weeks or 4 weeks in one of the 5 events. The special unit appear. Dr. Gero, Tarble, Kabe, Cooler, or Super Boo. They almost never appeared. But there was an update to where they are super common now. Honestly, I feel like I see one of them like once every 3 days or something. It's so common. And because of that, because of the fact that they give you orbs of every typing, it just makes it to where JP just gets way more orbs now. Because, like, you fight these guys so frequently that JP definitely is ending up with more orbs, right? And it's especially noticeable on these special weekend orb events right here. This info I've been talking about is, like, you know, I'm talking about the normal orb events. But this one right here on the weekend event, during these celebrations, you are guaranteed to fight the special unit. It's literally the very last panel of the stage, and it's a stop sign. So you always fight them, and so JP just gets, like, over a course of a celebration, they're getting, like, double the amount of orbs Global's getting or something like that. So there's an easy fix. Just make Global's orb events the same. Bam. Not hard. Not hard to do at all. With the release of the Representatives Universe 7 category, these 2 were added to the category by mistake. It was fixed a couple weeks later, and all players who owned at least one of the 2 units received 1 stone as compensation. Yeah, because, see, it's so stupid. They released with hit, so it's like, oh, okay, they're from the Universe 6 tournament, which would put them on Representatives Universe 7, but no, Dokkan, like, the claim, the indication is that they're from Resurrection F, so that's why they were removed, which is fine, but we still need Universe 6 versions of these characters, basically. Okay, Dokkan Battle removed the ability to buy stones, tickets, and PLF Trove for Belgian players. A couple of days later, the game was completely removed from the Google Play Store there. Yeah, that's a shame. I remember that. Boss event for Beerus didn't originally have the weakness to Realm of Gods. Okay. But was quickly patched in before it's released to the public. Okay, because that would make it, like, borderline impossible. When the Pure Saiyan category was released on Global, these 2 were not part of the category. Yeah, because they weren't out on JP at the time. Yep. Doing to them not being part of the JP database, but it was fixed. Yeah, interesting. Then the first few hours of 24th World Tournament, the game would randomly crash for many players during matches. Those who encountered the issue were compensated with 5 Dragon Stones. I just remember there's an issue that's not on here. Not a big deal. But, yeah, it would be right in here. Like, right around here. There was a World Tournament. The first tournament where LRTN and Chaozu were there. I think we could probably pull... Let me see if I could pull this up. It was the first tournament where LRTN and Chaozu were a reward. Funny enough, until very recently, this was the last time I had pulled LR Piccolo. I believe that he was added to the banner, and it was the very first time I pulled him. Yep, see? Okay, yep, right here. So if anyone from the Dokkan Wiki is watching, you guys got to add this to this, like, sort of, like, log right here. The 22nd World Tournament was, like, glitched or bugged or messed up or something like that. Notice how, look at, it was only up for, like, 4 or 5 hours. It was messed up. They fixed everything and then brought it back a couple of days later. You got, like, ranking rewards, like, all kinds of extra rewards from this. This was a really, really helpful glitch at the time, as long as you were up to grind the World Tournament as soon as it started, which I was. So I was able to get a lot of free ranking rewards, extra copies of TN and stuff like that. And then, again, they did a second, like, 22nd World Tournament a couple days later, a proper one, where everyone got proper rewards and stuff like that. Not the biggest deal, because it's just something that helped out all players, but, you know, it definitely should be added to this list, right? What else we got here? Yeah, game would crash for many players during matches. Those who encountered an issue were compensated. Yeah, that would be a huge pain in the ass. Okay, so following the scheduled distribution date of the 24th World Tournament, tens of thousands of players were removed from the leaderboards. I remember this. Those who were affected by the error received their original rank rewards along with compensation listed here. Compensation for such a huge oversight. Dude, this would, like, I would be so terrified if this happened to me. Like, it just seems like you got banned or something like that. Okay, 5 stones, 3 silver tickets, 3 Dragon Ball Saga banner tickets, and 1 Kai. And then everyone gets 2 more stones. They got 7 stones. Yeah, that's not good. That's definitely not good enough. Everyone should have gotten, I don't know, 25 stones, 20 stones, and then at least 1 guaranteed ticket on the World Tournament banner. I think at least would have been fair. That is, because it just mentally, like, I would have been a basket case if that had happened to me. I'm telling you, like if this popped up for me, I'm not doing too well. Alright, let's see what else we got. Originally this kid Goku had Krillin in the card's thumbnail, even though his name isn't part of the card, so they removed it to prevent confusion. Yep, I remember that. At first, God Goku's attack is a Ki Blast move. It was changed to physical. Okay, I don't even know if I remember that. Okay, interesting. Oh yeah, here we go. Originally, Baby's Great Ape transformation required you to wait for 4 turns before having a high chance to transform. Following complaints, it was changed to high chance to transform when HP falls below 40. That's a huge change. This baby would be, like, his Great Ape would be 50 times worse if that was the case. Many times, like, in Super Battle Road, you could start the event, he immediately transforms, you could cheese it. Like, Baby would just be way worse if he was still the same. That was a very, very good change right there. When the Vegeta family category was released on Global, this Vegeta wasn't part of the category due to the game still having a limitation on categories. Yeah, this would be fixed the following month, by the way. Like, at the time, this guy was, I don't know, top 2, top 3 best Vegeta family unit or something like that. Absolutely insane. That's crazy. That's a crazy one. When the Joined Forces category was released on the global server, they weren't part of it because they're not in the Japanese database. Yep, we've seen that a million times. Really wish they would be prepared for that next time. They stopped support for the older versions of iOS, okay? Okay, so this, yeah, Kale and Khalifa. The hidden key multiplier bug had always been present in the game, but it became prominent because of how Kale and Khalifa raised key when they attacked, causing them to launch additional super attacks at 13 to 18 key instead of 12. It was eventually fixed, yeah. Version 3.0 brought an endless sewage of bugs due to the developers' attempts to fix the key overflow issue. LR started launching additional supers at 18 key or more. Great Apes and similar transformations started receiving damage. Characters' attack stats were wrong. I remember that. Character sprites disappeared entirely performing a super attack. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. That was April last year. Crazy times. When this Gohan was released, the character's growth did not show his Dokkan Awakening. Oh, okay, wait a minute. I don't think this is a bug. Well, okay, I guess this happens sometimes. So, like, let's say you're playing Dokkan and, like, the banners and the units drop in-game, right? This is not really, like, I don't think I mean, I guess you could list this as a bug. I don't think this was this free, this unit specifically, though. Because, like, again, if the new stuff drops in-game, I've had tons of time on streams where people are like, oh, the Dokkan Awakening isn't live in-game. And it's not. You just reset the app, open it up, and all the info will be correctly displayed. It's just, when you're playing the game, when the units are released sometimes, it just leads to, like, them not being displayed there and stuff like that. I don't think this was a particular issue related to this movie hero support Gohan. When the sibling bond category was released on Global, Vegeta acquired it only during his last 2 transformations, which is stupid. Goten and 17 lost category upon Dokkan Awakening. They were fixed. Yeah, Goten and 17 were removed from the category altogether, while Vegeta gained it in all forms. Also fixed the hidden key multiplier. Okay, cool. Okay, exists a bug of the muting of sound effects causing voice lines to still play when using active skills, despite having the sound muted in options. Be fixed in a future update. I don't even know if that's fixed or not. Okay, so, yeah, I believe this Broly still does not have voice acting for his active skill. I mean, I presume this is related to the Vic Mignogna stuff. I mean, who knows? But it's just very, like, okay, this big controversy around, like, the, English voice actor, and then, like, his, like, that is not, like, this is the one unit that doesn't get, like, voice lines. It's just bizarre, because he does have voices, like, he has a voice line on JP. Again, I'm pretty sure it's still not on Global, because I've seen people memeing about it lately, but, I don't know if they're ever going to add it or what. It is a little weird. Whenever a card performs an additional rare bug where the key meter will not show 12 key, but instead show a lower amount of key, seems to be exclusive to Battlefield. Okay, I don't know that I was familiar with that one. Okay, yeah, okay, I remember this, yep. During a week of the ticket summon, players could get 7 extra tickets. They were reset unexpectedly, allowing players to gain 14 extra tickets throughout the mission. Those who did not complete the extra missions got 1 to 3 extra tickets. Interesting. Miss out on a minimum of 4 tickets. Okay. Yeah, I don't think I remember that one. I think I was thinking of something different where, like the tickets carry over between all these weekend banners, and people summoned on it before it was like guaranteed SSR, and then it was added to it or something like that. An issue with B-Pan resulted in super attacks being unable to be launched at 9 and 15 key. Oof, yeah, that's rough. Oh my god, this was the worst. This, thank goodness, was fixed, but yeah, you couldn't stack damage reduction items for a while on JP. So like double King Yama, which is a great strategy for World Tournament, was taken out. It was just the worst. Oh, so terrible. Then of course, okay, we need more of this. Several changes were made to existing. Oh, another thing they could add onto here, again, if someone from Dokkan Wiki is watching, when a lot of links were updated, I believe in 2017 it was, or the beginning of 2018, a bunch of links were updated. That could be a good, like, sort of change log to be added into here. But a lot of these characters were changed on categories. A huge good change, by the way. Look at all these characters added to full power, right? Like the Family Kamehameha units, this Cell, Demon King Piccolo, Kid Goku. Like, this is just great. You know, this 21 needed to be on Peppy Gal. It's just a really good change. Then 2020, we have some card art changes recently. Now, this is stupid to me. So this Frieza, they made his art look way better at SSR. Like, it looks great, right? But he doesn't have it. The rest of his transformations, he doesn't have that, like, aura. Like, it's stupid. Why don't you just give it to all of them so it looks a lot better? It's just very bizarre, right? Like, give it to all the versions of that Frieza. Borgos' armor was changed to the correct color. Now, this is interesting. We'll see if this means something. But Jiren's, you know, shirt and then this little rip in his pants were added to his art. This was very recently, by the way, in April. So we'll see if this will lead to something. You know, maybe this raid will return. Maybe we'll get this Jiren as a card. We'll see. This Cell, despite being incorrectly colored forever, got his nails painted black finally. Several bug... Oh, yeah, I remember this. People were going crazy about this. So several bugged missions were added. I believe they were related to the orb events, the skill orb events, I think, or something like that. Missions weren't visible in the list of missions, but once completed, they did appear. You weren't able to read what they were because the font wasn't in-game. Missions could be found in the database in Japanese, which are translated to English. You can find the missions in Japanese, English, and the rewards they gave by clicking expand. Okay, let's take a look here. Oh, that... Okay. Well, hold on. All right, let's go back to... We're almost done, by the way, but I figured this would be cool to kind of go over all this stuff, right? Alright, get stronger by training, clear stage 3 times, nothing too crazy, consume 50 stamina, unlock potential orb routes, yeah, stones, orbs, more potential routes. Oh, activate nodes, okay, yeah, so some of these, like, being able to get a lot of these would be so nice, like, all these extra stones and stuff like that, so that was cool for a limited time. Certain characters have problems with their passive skill activation. Oh, these set 13s can activate their passive against that blue Kaioken Goku. I didn't even know about that. Probably because blue Kaioken Goku is released before JP. Notice how there's so many issues with Global First stuff. It just creates tons of problems for Global always. And this Gohan couldn't activate the additional attack boost. Same thing. See? Like, you could tell. It, like, Akatsuki... At this point, just don't even do Global First stuff, because it just leads to so many issues. Like, either do it correctly or don't do it at all. Or, preferably, just make the games on the same timeline. Boom. Very simple. These characters were added to categories. Funny enough, just tonight, Trunks and Goten were added to Fusion on Global. I'm unsure about the Chiaotzu. It doesn't really matter, but I assume he was added to the youth category on Global as well. Very big change for this Trunks and Goten. And then finally, we reach the end, the final error here. Several errors happened to Babidi and Deborah. The value of their HP, attack, and defense is lower than expected. Unable to access hidden potential system. This was corrected tonight. As you guys can see, maintenance was today. LR, Babidi, and Deborah are fixed, and now they can actually be given hidden potential system orbs. The way this worked was, if you bought them before it was fixed on that first day, then it was broken until maintenance, whereas they were able to fix it in the Baba Shop very quickly after release, but if you had already bought them, which, you know, I was one of the people who already had, then it led to an issue where you had to wait for this maintenance before they would be adjusted. But there we go. This is a pretty comprehensive list. Again, there's a few things missing. I'm sure there's other stuff I didn't even know about. I remember there was some bug or glitch very early in the game, I believe on JP, that is not listed here, where I think super attack animations were not displayed or something like that related to Cell, and I want to say 50 stones were given out. I believe so. I don't know full details of it, but that's one. The link changes could be added, and then of course the broken 20-second rule tournament could be added. But this is still, things like this in the Dokkan Wiki are very nice to look at, right? So, if you want to point towards global shafts, if you go through this, yes, I would agree global is treated worse. I mean, you could just see the pandemic of issues because of global first. This right here, that's not one. This is another global first issue. This is a global first issue. Like, you just go through and through. This is a global first issue. This is a global first issue. Like, you just keep going and going and going. This is a global first issue. There's so many issues, like, with global first stuff that they really got to get their ass in gear with that. So, let me know what you guys think of all these errors and changes and everything. Thanks, guys, for watching, and I will catch y'all next time.